Good day, everyone. So, allow me to introduce myself to you. I am Miss Mary Joy Villamil, 21 years old, and today I am your teacher for today's discussion, which is all about the maximizing the use of Google Classroom as learning management system. But before that, I have here a video which contains an overview on why Google Classroom. So please take note all of your questions regarding of this video and I will try my best to answer those questions later on our discussion.
A few years ago, I started to watch the teachers around me passing me. It got more intimidating once the computers came. I felt as though if I couldn't get this, it would be time for me to retire.
At my house, I have 6 sisters and 3 brothers. Having lots of siblings is quite fun, but it's not peaceful. When I'm doing my homework, I go into Google Classroom. If I see my teacher's icon pop up, if I don't understand something, I could ask him and he'd be able to answer rather than having to wait till my next Spanish lesson. I find it useful to have classmates and teachers looking at your work. I can see where they've made mistakes and where I've made mistakes and where we can both correct it.
Ahora está muy bien. Sí, excelente.
I feel like I have made this breakthrough. You just click on their name and their document opens up immediately in front of you, and those beautiful thoughts come out.
So did you follow the video, everyone? So now, as per the video contains, we see different reasons why we should use Google Classroom, right? But why does Google Classroom are well known as learning management system? Well, those questions will be answered later on our discussion. We will know more and we will know how we can use this kind of application that help us on teaching and learning. Yes. So again, our topic for today's discussion is all about the maximizing the use of Google Classroom as learning management system or LMS. But first, let me present to you our objectives for today's session. So, at the end of the lesson, the students are expected to first introduce the Google Classroom as learning management system. Second, provide ways on how to maximize Google Classroom as learning management system or LMS. Third, create Google Classroom as learning management system. And fourth, cite advantages and disadvantages of Google Classroom as learning management system. And lastly, appreciate the Google Classroom as learning management system or LMS. So, since we're clear on our objectives, let's keep moving. So first, let us define what is LMS or learning management system. So, according to Hamming and in Nirfayati 2019, LMS is the most widely used software in educational technology, which are Google Classroom, Moodle, Blackboard, Edmodo, and Schoology. So, those LMS have been popular since of the new normal. So, since then, our learning approach has been separate in two, and those are traditional and the e-learning. So here's what Google Classroom is all about. According to Hami and Inir Fayati 2019, Google Classroom is a technology that allows cyberspace classroom to develop. So it can also use to allocate assignments, request evaluation, and even review submitted assignment. So Google Classroom itself can be interpreted as online-based class. So next, according also to Maxine Tyrin 2021, Google Classroom is a learning center application. So it can be dedicated to any level of education using the Google Classroom. It makes the learning experience more efficient, and both of educators and students will face each other anytime via Google Classroom online class. So now, Google Classroom was known for its many features. That is, teachers and student user-friendly that doesn't always use. So let's move on. So here are some features that not always been used of the users of Google Classroom. Number one is the Quizlet class. So in Quizlet class, teacher can create a Quizlet at the same time when students join the class. Quizlet will notify them at the same time. So next, upload playing tests. So here teachers can view the playing tests and leave their feedbacks, while students can choose to listen to the test they want. And the third, warm-up question. So here, if the teachers want or would like to assess how well student understood the discussion, so this is the use, the warm-up question. And next is the forum. Here in the forum, this is also another way to expand the class discussion, so that if the students have any question or clarification, they can reach out anytime on the forum feature. And next, the post link. Post link can bring the outside sources for students to learn even more. And the last picture is that also not always used is the parent support. So Google Classroom has added a feature wherein it allows teachers to communicate to parents without the hassle of finding the parents' contact. So, to give you an idea how we can use the Google Classroom as learning management system or LMS, here are some ways that Google Classroom can be maximized as used as a pre-learning management system. So, first is the teachers and students check Google Classroom every day. Next, quiz or tests in Google Classroom without any hassle. So next, all-in activities can be posted and seen on Google Classroom Organized. And for the fourth one, marking or grading the activities easily. So for the fifth, posting materials for more learnings of students to observe. And lastly, posting announcement when every student that enrolled in the class can see it. So let me discuss to you how we can create Google Classroom as learning management system. First, we have the things to consider. One of that is make a Google account. Second, install Google Classroom application. Third, sign in your Google account on Google Classroom application. And lastly, remember that all files in Google Classroom are shared or backed up on the Google Drive app. So here are the first step. So step 1, create a class. So as you can see on our presentation, you should search for a plus button and choose to create class. And for our step number 2, fill up the information needed. So here, you should choose the class name, the class section you will handle, the subject to teach, and after that, click create. So your screen should be like this after clicking the create. So for our step 3, save the application or the classroom code and share it to your class. And for our step number 4 is to customize the classroom. So here, you have the freedom to design as it you want your virtual classroom to be look like. So you will select photos or theme, or you can upload a photo that by customized by yours. So to be that your theme. Then you will just click the save button. So for our last step, the step 5, create or upload learning materials, assignment, activities, and quiz for your students. So you just need to fill up the necessary information for your student and click post. So later on, I will demonstrate on how we can create Google Classroom um, on the application. So with this work, um, the work of the students can easily grade because of the features of Google Classroom. So just like that, we can create our own virtual classroom on Google Classroom that will or that we can use on any type of subject courses that needs to proper and organization. So student with this, student can now access the materials that you can see. So the other activities, they can now working on the assigned task to them. So the Google Classroom will mark their work if they pass it late. So according to the time and date you set up. So with simple steps, we can create a learning environment even if it's distant learning. We can ensure that students' performance by checking their data or works on Google Classroom application. So first create class and fill up the information that is needed. So example, class name, TLE class, and section is BDBD3A FSM. So create. Then let's wait for a second. And so here is our virtual classroom on our Google Classroom. So next is we will upload on assignment and material. So first the material. So let's upload a file. So example here is I have the um, so here I have a file. So example, so let's select and the material title is, we will type the learning material number 1. Then for our description, we will just add readme for the students to read the material. So next, we will upload now an assignment. So let's just imagine an assignment title is make pick to word. Then for our discussion is they will need to think words that connected to the TLE subject or our TLE class. So we will just add points and due date. And we will select a topic so that it can be organized just like the Google Classroom has featured. So here we have the three assigned or announcement or materials. Now we will invite our co-teachers and students. So we will just invite them, type their name, and for same as for the teachers, or we can click the copy link here in the button. So we can use it and send it to application that connected to our teachers or our students. So now we have the proper and good classroom on our Google Classroom application. So here we have the example of announcement. So we will just type the class discussion on April 24, 2023 at 1 p.m. So we can use Google Link since it's connected to Google Classroom. So now, every student that enrolled in TLE class will see it. So that's for our steps by step of creating Google Classroom. So next, I will show to you the advantage and disadvantage of Google Classroom has. We can really see how good and efficient the Google Classroom is. Right? So, however, the Google Classroom were just like other Google application. It can be a web-based and an application-based at the same time. So, there are some problems and some troubleshooting on using those kind of apps. Let's move on to the advantage on this and disadvantage of the Google Classroom application has. So first is the advantage, easy to use the platform. So here we can share notes, assignments, and announcements. Next, the Google Classroom helps teachers to save time. And the third is Google Classroom can improve the communication interaction among the teachers and students. And for the fourth advantages is Google Classroom effectively manage classes with a high number of students. In Google Classroom, we can enroll a high number of students. So for the fifth advantage, so Google Classroom is a free and can be used by anyone to open a class as long as they have a Google Mail account. So next, the teacher can upload tests and knowing the scores of the student immediately. And lastly, Google Classroom can stimulate innovation and the creativity in the online learning activities. So next for our disadvantage of the Google Classroom application is one of that is the Google Classroom in the learning process must be supported by computer or any gadgets and also the internet connection. And second of the disadvantage is the Google Classroom management system does not provide automated quizzes and tests for students. So, to summarize our discussion, Google Classroom is an effective tool on learning, right? And also in teaching. So, it has a many features like Quizlet, upload playing test. So, it has indeed good features where the files were uploaded and can be backed up on connected application like Google Drive and also Google Meet to make an instant meeting without searching for that application. So, Google Classroom is also a free application that can be used on mobile cell phone, laptop, tablet, and also in our desktops. So, it allows us users to experience a paperless yet perform very well on academic competencies. With Google Classroom, we can gain different kinds of benefit that saves our time to spend our important things while keeping our on track on our studying or on our teaching. So, our discussion ends here and I hope that you've learned a lot from me. With those simple steps, we can maximize this kind of yet simple web-based and free application that has many features to explore. So that is the only one, the Google Classroom. So thank you for listening and that is for our discussion. Thank you and goodbye everyone.